Hello and welcome to Good Business Pays Television for another in the series of solution providers from our Village of Solutions. Today we are welcoming Elise Perraud, who is the Chief Operations Officer at NEDonBoard. Welcome to you, Elise.
Thanks, Terry. Very pleased to be here.
So first question really is, tell us a bit about the history of NEDonBoard. Where did it come from? Where was the inspiration for this organization?
Sure. So NEDonBoard was created nearly 10 years ago in 2014. And we were initially set up to change the recruitment process when it comes to the boardroom and open the boardroom to more diverse professionals. We evolved to become a membership organization, a professional body, and we're now the Institute of Board Members. At the core of what we do is we provide educational content for non-executive directors and board members at every step of the journey at board level, from aspiring non-executive directors, so those that are stepping into a board role for the first time, up to experienced non-executive directors and board and committee chairs.
So you've changed, you're now the Institute of Board Directors. Is that right?
So we rebranded to be NEDonBoard Institute of Board Members.
Okay. And what's your role within the organization? What's a typical day or a week look like for Elise in this role?
So I'm the Chief Operations Officer. Concretely, I am involved in every functional aspect of the operations. Look after finance, look after sales and marketing, our team, our sports team, our admin team. I'm also very involved with our members. We are a membership organization, so I'm very close to the members to make sure that we deliver the service that they need to achieve their board career objective. I've been really involved with the design of some of our training courses, notably those for aspiring non-executive directors, and involved as well with setting the agenda so that we have events and content on the membership platform that is just relevant to the current needs of board members.
And is it organizations that join or individuals? And when they do join, what do they receive when they're a member of the organization?
So we do have corporate members. We also have individual members, and typically professionals, whether they join as an individual or as part of a corporate membership, they are typically looking for guidance, knowledge, and inspiration. So you'll have professionals that are looking for specific development opportunities because they are already in a board role and they are looking for a safe and enjoyable environment to exchange with peers. And we also work with board of directors, so that will be our company membership, where entire boards join for that same purpose of ongoing professional development. We also work with individuals that are looking to secure a board role, whether this is their first board role, whether this is a second role, part of the rotation of a portfolio. And sometimes it's professionals, non-executive directors that are looking to step into a chair role and are looking for new opportunities. We provide the network that is essential in this industry to take on the next role and to advance best practices.
And what are they telling you are their sort of top issues that keep them awake at night, to use that sort of boardroom phrase? What are the board directors telling you is important and on their agenda at the moment?
So there are a few topics that are really critical at the moment. A lot of work has been done on purpose and mission, and a lot of organizations have had to think through their purpose and outline their mission in a way they didn't have to do before. ESG is a big topic, and I guess we'll come to that given the topic of the meat of this interview. ESG is a big issue, with typically the E and the G being well understood, and with a lot of works being done the social societal component of ESG is something that require more work, and this is an area where board members need more support.
Now, I live in the world of payments. Good Business Pays lives in the world of payments and the payments agenda. Why is it, though, important that directors, or perhaps more specifically non-executive directors, why is it important that they pay attention to this?
So I think the payment practices is really part of the S, which, as I just said, is not well understood because it's very vast as a topic. It will include your supply chain, human rights, your engagement with the workforce, diversity and inclusion. So it's a very wide and broad topic, and payment practice is part of that societal and social component. Typically, when you have late payments, you have to put yourself in the shoes of your small supplier. And what is the impact when you are a small supplier of receiving late payment? The impact it has on your cash flows. So what does that mean? If you don't have the cash flow, you can't invest, you can't recruit, you can't potentially pay your employees. This has real impact, and in time of crisis, this may also impact survival. So it's something, it has real impact in terms of cash flows with all those consequences. I also think that there is a mental health issue that late payment creates, especially for company funders, where you don't know when you're going to be paid for services you've provided. And it has impact on your mental health and your stress level. So when you are a business, especially if you are financially strong, you need to be aware of your payment to small suppliers and the impact this has. So the late payment issue is important from that perspective. But if you look at your responsibility as board members and non-executive directors, it is your responsibility to oversee the entire procurement process, the supply chain, and make sure that you have the right policies and procedures in place. Typically, late payments may be a good indicator of a financial problem. So where you are basically looking for financing by paying your suppliers late, as a non-executive director, you want to know, because it's an indicator of potential financial problems. So obviously, given your responsibilities as board members and company director, you want to know if there are any issues when it comes to the financial position of the company on which board you serve. It also indicates, this late payment is also an indicator of a culture problem, where in terms of engaging with your stakeholders, in that case with your suppliers, you may not be what you think you are in terms of engaging effectively and having a positive impact on your ecosystem or potentially your local community. So as a non-executive director, again, you want to know, you want to have this data about payment to check what's the culture of the organization, because there is always this potential of a disconnect between what you think and what's the reality. And getting the perspective of suppliers, it's something that can be really valuable as an NED.
So there's a sort of societal reason for paying on time and paying faster, but there's also a business risk where you see late payments potentially being an issue that could be hiding other problems, let's say.
Exactly.
Yeah. When would you, as a NED, when would you bring that question up? If it wasn't on the board agenda papers, when is a good time to bring that up, and with who?
I think there are several opportunities to bring up the topic of payment. When the annual report is being prepared, that's a good moment to raise the issue. When you have the report from the CFO or finance director, if payment indicators are not part of the KPIs, the whatever dashboard or report you get from the finance director, then you can ask the question. And if you are an entity that works with a lot of local suppliers, well, ask the question at any time, because really paying your suppliers late has a real impact on the local community. So there isn't a good time to ask the question. Just ask at the next board meeting.
In fact, there are roughly, according to Bayes, 10,000 companies that should be reporting their payment performance terms, and only just over 5,000 are reporting. So almost double again. 5,000 companies are not reporting that should be, and that's a statutory duty of every director, right? So it's important for them to know what's going on.
And I think a lot of companies have the right tool in place. So it's not a question necessarily of technology or IT. Most companies will have the right tools to be able to pull that data and get that data for their non-executive directors and their boards. So it's a question of prioritizing and just asking at the next board meeting.
Do you think that the payment reporting statistics should be in a company's annual report?
I think it is good practice. It is good practice. And to some extent, it's an easy way to demonstrate your commitment to the social societal component of ESG. It can, almost be an easy win to demonstrate that you take your engagement with your suppliers very seriously, and you have data to demonstrate that statement.
So we've been working at Good Business Pays with yourselves, NEDonBoard, now for more than a year, I think, since our first campaign we called the Weight Off campaign, which was all about stress and mental health that small business owners suffer when they are waiting for payments. Why did you all decide to support the work that we're doing at Good Business Pays, and why do you continue to support the work that we're doing?
I think there is an alignment of value in and purpose in what you are trying to achieve, what we are trying to achieve as an organization. As I said at the beginning, NEDonBoard is a membership organization concerned with the professional development of NED. So when you think about company directors and the responsibilities of boards and directors, which keep expanding, those decision makers need to be part of an organization that help them to discharge their duty and responsibilities. So by associating ourselves with the Good Business Pay campaign and all the initiatives that you've launched, we're providing educational content so that those non-execs can ask the question at the next board meeting. And you can't think about everything as a non-exec because there are so many aspects you need to be concerned with. So it's good to have someone to help you finding out what are the questions I should be asking at the next board meetings. What are the things that are important? So we like to associate with organizations like Good Business Pays so that we bring good content and we bring awareness on issues that should be at the forefront of board meetings.
And what does the future hold for NEDonBoard 2023? What will you be planning for your members and broader business society?
So it's continuing to serve our community, providing more educational content, whether in the form of training courses or in the form of events, and just growing our community and making sure that board members and non-executive directors are doing the best work they can do in discharging their responsibilities.
Well, I've been a chair, a CEO, and a non-executive director. I can highly recommend NEDonBoard to anybody that wants to have a look. We'll put the link down below the video so that you can check that out. Elise Perraud, thank you very much for spending some time with us today. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Terry.